The rumors for Donovan Mitchell have been coming up again, and Chris and I are here to break it all down. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dariel and Chris, and let's hop into today's video. So, earlier this week, Brian Windhorst went on First Take with Stephen A. Smith and Mad Dog Russo, and he was talking about Donovan Mitchell being linked to the Knicks. And just to give a brief description of what he said, I don't know if the Donovan Mitchell Knicks thing is really still a possibility. He's got to be looking at what Jalen Brunson has and feeling like, damn, like that could have been me. Now, Chris, you and I, we've talked about Donovan Mitchell being linked to the Knicks numerous times. At this point, like I don't really know what the fuss is about. I don't really know why he's even still being linked with the Knicks. Like, we're fine. We're good. We don't need him. That's my stance. What about you?
I think we need more shot creation in general, and even if that doesn't mean Donovan Mitchell, that's fine with me. I'm not going to go out and say that I do want Mitchell on this team. I don't think him and Brunson fit that well in the backcourt together, though I've been more open to it in the past. With the way the Knicks have played when they were healthy, they've shown that they don't exactly need him, though I would like to see another bit of shot creation added to this team. At the same time, I like our starting five. I don't want to give up the farm for Donovan Mitchell. I don't think he specifically makes a ton of sense because, once again, then we would just be pairing Donovan and Brunson together, and that's two small offensively based guards. And I don't exactly want to do that. I'd rather trade for someone who can be more of a wing than a guard, if that makes sense. If I want a shot creator, I don't think I'm going to go and say, let's give up all of our assets for Donovan Mitchell, especially when the Cavs are playing as well as they are. They're the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. I don't exactly see Donovan Mitchell becoming available for trade anytime soon. I still very much could see him leaving in free agency, but I don't think that he's going to get traded off the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. And because of that, if the Knicks wanted him, they'd have to overpay so much where it would make literally zero sense. I'm kind of out on Donovan, but I do want to see shot creation come to this team.
So, just to dive a little bit deeper into Brian Windhorst's quote, I don't know if the Donovan Mitchell Knicks thing is really still a possibility. I guess it is because he can be a free agent in a year. I don't know how Donovan feels. I don't know how he feels, but I gotta imagine as a kid from New York who wanted to play for the Knicks in 2022, that's where he wanted to get traded. It's not an insult to Cleveland. I'm from Cleveland. I'm not insulting it. He wanted to be a Knick. He's got to be looking at what Jalen Brunson has and feeling like, damn, that could have been me. Listen, so there's been a lot of I guess media coverage on Cleveland as of late because they've been on a roll. When Darius Garland and Evan Mobley went out with both of their injuries, Donovan Mitchell and Jarrett Allen, they won 18 out of the next 20 games, which led them to be I think they're in the number 2 seed in the East right now, which is kind of crazy. But I did a little digging, my friend. I did a little digging. I actually went into the 20-game schedule and where they won 18 out of those 20 games. Would you like to hear the teams that they beat?
I've heard a little bit about this, but go for it.
So listen, man, during my digging, it's not that impressive. The first 2 wins are against the Wizards. Then it's against the San Antonio Spurs. They got to win against the Brooklyn Nets, which they aren't at the level of Washington Wizards or San Antonio Spurs, but they're still not one of the better teams in the East. Then they got to win with Chicago, mid-team, but okay, respectable. Milwaukee Bucks, respect. Atlanta Hawks, mid-team, so it's Orlando Magic, again, mid-team, on the rise, young and up-and-coming team. They're in the play-in, I believe, right now, so I guess it's a good win. Then they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks, so that's the first loss. That's, of course, Milwaukee Bucks. And they had a back-to-back with Milwaukee, so they lost the first one, and then they won the next one. So interesting. And then January 29th, they played the LA Clippers. That's a decent win. Clippers have been playing really well as of late. Then they beat the Detroit Pistons. Let's go back to the bottom of the barrel teams. They beat Detroit. They beat Memphis. They beat San Antonio. So those 3 games in a row, bottom of the barrel teams. February 5th, they play against Sacramento Kings. Solid win. Let's go back towards the bottom of the barrel. Then they beat the Washington Wizards. Then they beat the Brooklyn Nets. The Toronto Raptors, they got a W on February 10th. Toronto again is a mid-team, middle of the pack, so I don't even know how to analyze that. February 12th, they beat the Philadelphia 70. I mean, they lost to the Philadelphia 76ers, excuse me. And February 14th, Chicago Bulls, they won. So reading off that list, just from like a grand view of things, I feel like a lot of those wins were against the bottom of the barrel teams of the league. There might be maybe like 5 or 6 wins that it's like, okay, these are actually respectable wins. So that's why I just wanted to bring it up to you. As far as Donovan Mitchell this season, I have the graphic up here. He's averaging 28 points, 5.5 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 47.2 from the field, converting 37% from 3, and converting 86% of his free throws. Yeah, I mean, listen, in one of the earlier videos when the rumor with Donovan Mitchell coming to the Knicks was like super, super hot, and it was before the NBA trade deadline, I said that if it happens, it happens. I'll support him. I'll support the Knicks, and we'll see what happens. But now that the trade deadline is way past us and Donovan Mitchell is still with the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm over it. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him come to the Knicks. I don't think it's not that I don't think he's a winning player, but I just don't know the ceiling of a team with him being your best player on the team. If he comes to the Knicks, teaming up with Jalen Brunson, I think the masses would say that Donovan Mitchell is the better player. You and I think, would agree that Jalen Brunson is the better player between the two. But to the masses, I feel like everybody would say Donovan Mitchell is the better player. And if that's the case, I don't know what a ceiling of Donovan Mitchell being your best player on the team. I don't know what it could take us, where it could take us.
Yeah, I just don't think it works. I think you're pairing two score-first guards together on a team that, with also having Julius Randle, who wants the ball a lot, it feels very similar to what the Knicks are trying to do with Brunson, RJ, and Randle. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell's way better than RJ Barrett, but at the same time, I just don't understand the point of trading for Donovan Mitchell right now. I don't think he's the guy. Cleveland's winning, and I'll be honest, I don't believe in Cleveland at all. I think they're going to lose early in the playoffs, and that's because they're pretty simple on how to stop. Max Strus is playing an awesome brand of basketball right now. He has been since before that three-point barrage in the half-court game winner. He's been great for them.
That was sick.
It was awesome. That was so cool. And you have to guard him. You have to really just not let Donovan Mitchell beat you, though. And it's easier to make Donovan Mitchell not able to beat you when your starting power forward and center are legit never going to hit a three. You don't have to guard Allen or Mobley at all. You can completely leave them on the perimeter defensively and just not force the Cavs to shoot constant threes. And when you have Donovan Mitchell, who's been spotty from 3 in his playoff career, I mean, the Knicks held him last season to, I believe it was 28% from 3. And then Darius Garland, who's not exactly the world's greatest shot creator, for all the things he does well, he's not exactly great in the isolation. And if you force Garland to isolate and put Donovan Mitchell in tough spots, which is easy with that lineup, you're going to see problems. And Dean Wade's been great for them, especially on defense, which is new. He's been a great 3-and-D power forward, but then when you put in Evan Mobley, who's obviously a tremendous defender, but he can't shoot a basketball whatsoever, I don't think the Cavs are really going to be that great of a team, and I do think it is going to cause Donovan Mitchell to really explore his options down the line. But I really think, because how well they've played in the regular season, even if they lose out early this year, Donovan isn't going to turn around and request a trade. I think he's going to stay. He's going to try one more year. And then if they lose early again for the 3rd straight year, then yeah, he's probably going to walk. And if the Knicks want to sign him in free agency, it might be more open to it, because by then it's going to be 2025. And that's a little different because we don't know what the Knicks are going to look like by next season. They're not done making trades. They want to trade for another star player. The question is, I don't know who that star is, but as of right now, it's not Donovan Mitchell, and I don't want it to be. I want a wing. I want a forward. I don't want Donovan Mitchell. I don't want another guard. I'm fine with Dante DiVincenzo not being a starter on the New York Knicks, but I don't want him to be replaced by a guy who's not going to play any type of defense, or for the exchange of being an elite shot creator. And that's what happens with Donovan. I'd rather them go for someone who's a little more well-rounded. I think the Knicks are pretty close to being a finals team. Obviously, Mikal Bridges is a nice option, but it's not realistic. Who knows who it's going to be, but I wouldn't trade anything for Donovan right now because you could still sign him in 2025 working through sign and trades. And the Cavs are not going to try to move him this summer because of what they've went on like this run since 2024.
So I want to pivot a little bit. We're still gonna talk within Donovan Mitchell and Cleveland Cavaliers, but I'm gonna pivot a little bit. Something you just said, you were like, we don't know what our team is gonna look like in 2025, and I haven't talked to you about this. We don't know what our team is gonna look like at the end of the season, bro. Yo, the injury bug is hitting us, dog. First of all, foremost, have you heard anything about Jalen Brunson tonight and Hartenstein? Do you know if they're available and they're playing or what?
They're both questionable. I'm going to guess if one of them plays, the other plays. So it's dependent on JV.
Okay, so now having said that, going back to Cleveland Cavaliers and Donovan Mitchell. So in a video that we recorded a couple weeks ago, I think we were talking about just the landscape of the Eastern Conference. And in that video, I said that I'm not worried about Cleveland. I'm changing my tune. I'm a little worried about Cleveland. And these are the reasons why. One, the injury bug, like I just said, is killing us. Brunson with the neck spasms, okay, he's probably going to miss, his availability for game in, game out is going to be up in the air for maybe about a week. So I'm not too worried about that. But if he's out for like a week and a half, I'm going to be a little worried because you saw what happened with the Pelicans. When Brunson's not out, when Brunson's not in the game, the offense is running through Josh Hart, bro. Josh Hart is having to create offense. I'm worried. Okay, that's one. Two, the Cleveland Cavaliers, yeah, they're having a great regular season, and you and I are very dubious about that because a Donovan Mitchell-led team is always great in the regular season, but then in the playoffs, he chokes, or the team ends up just not doing well, a la Utah Jazz days. But the way they've been playing as of late, it seems like Darius Garland has giving up the reign to Donovan Mitchell. It's kind of like I'm not comparing the two players, obviously not, but I'm just saying from the aspect of, yo, this is your team. It's kind of like D Wade and LeBron James. When LeBron went to Miami the first season, it was like a tug of war. Dwayne Wade was like, it's my team. No, it's your team. And then halfway through the season, Dwayne Wade was like, no, LeBron, this is your team. You're the better player. So that's what I mean. I'm saying like Darius Garland is talking to Donovan Mitchell and is like, as far as like whose team it is, it's your team. I'm not comparing the talent level and skill level between the four players. So that's one thing. Another thing is Evan Mobley and Darius Garland from the big four, if you will, Donovan Mitchell, Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, and Darius Garland. Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, that was their first real taste of playoff intensity. So now that they got that experience, they know what it's going to be like. And on top of that, we eliminated them in 5 games, embarrassingly. Everybody in the NBA was talking about how nobody expected it, how the Knicks punked the Cleveland Cavaliers, how the Cleveland Cavaliers weren't ready for the spotlight. You have throw that all together. It's like a friggin' mash of things where the Cleveland Cavaliers have a lot of motivation to if they face us in the playoffs. Like, these are all the reasons why I'm worried about us and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And if things are going as they are, right now we're the 4th seed, I believe.
If the season ended today and us and the Cavs played, it would have to be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
And the injuries, bro. Randall's not going to be here until a few weeks, and there's still speculation that he might get surgery. Mitchell Robinson is not coming back till right before playoffs. OG's another 2 to 3 weeks for evaluation. Brunson is out with the neck spasms. Hartenstein is out with the Achilles soreness. Like, yo, I'm a little worried as far as like the competition that we're playing in the next upcoming games and how far and where we're going to be in the standings.
Yeah, so am I. I'm definitely concerned, especially because as someone who knows a thing or 3, counting my kneecap dislocations, I'm going to tell you right now, the fact that Randall's not back yet is a sign that he does need shoulder surgery. He's going to get it.
Crap.
I'm not saying he's going to get it over the season, but he's going to get it. And because you either dislocate something and you're back in a month, or you dislocate something and you need surgery. That's the world we live in. And with Randall, he's going to try to thug through it. And
that's a problem.
I'm more just upset because there's historically coming back from a dislocated shoulder without getting surgery, you have an efficiency drop in basketball. That is concerning to me. Clearly, we didn't get the most efficient version of Randall in the playoffs last year because his ankle was mangled.
Right.
We were able to beat Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland's a playoff team whatsoever. Do I think they could beat the Knicks? Yes. I don't know why everyone's getting injured. I think Hartenstein has just been getting played too many minutes, and that's completely on Tibbs. If we have worse centers than Hartenstein who have to get bigger minutes, but if we're playing Hartenstein 40 minutes, yeah, he's going to get injured, and that's Tibbs' fault. I don't like Brunson constantly playing 40 minutes. I don't like Dante DiVincenzo playing 40 minutes. His hamstring got sore because of it. Tibbs is overplaying the guys, and I understand we're thin as it is, but I don't care. There's guys in free agency that you can sign, and we're not doing that. We're just giving 10 days to DaQuan Jeffries and Jacob Toppin. We need to do something. We need to get someone who can play a role with the Knicks because right now we're full of injuries and we have no shot creation outside of Jalen Brunson. I'm sorry, but Dante DiVincenzo is not a shot creator. His numbers have plummeted shooting wise because he has to be a first or second option half these games. He's taking as many shots as points he's scoring. That is not the market of efficiency. So we're in a weird spot right now. I think we could beat Cleveland because I think literally any team who makes the playoffs can beat Cleveland. I have zero faith in this team whatsoever. They have one shot creator also, and they got 3 guys on the roster who can shoot a basketball in their starting lineup. George Niang's shooting has plummeted to an embarrassing rate from the corner threes. He's went down nearly 20%. Dean Wade has been a great player, but he's on your bench. He's not going to play heavy minutes because they're going to play Mobley. The Knicks, if they face them, they're going to outcoach JB Bickerstaff's squad because JB Bickerstaff is not that good of a coach, if I'm being honest, from my perspective. Of what I've seen, all I've seen is this guy get outcoached in playoff series. Whether it's with the Memphis Grizzlies, the Houston Rockets, the Cleveland Cavaliers, I've seen this guy just get outcoached on multiple teams and continue to get NBA jobs. If Tibbs is wildly outcoaching you, you know, that maybe something is wrong there, and I don't believe in the Cavs. I really don't. I think they could beat the Knicks because the Knicks are covered in injuries, but I don't think this is a team that'll ever go anywhere past the second round of the playoffs. I don't think they're good enough. I think Donovan Mitchell as a star can get you to the conference finals, but not with a team that cannot shoot the damn basketball because Donovan wants to work inside more than he wants to work on the perimeter. And on this Cavs team, he has to work from the mid-range and the perimeter way more because you're going to have, say he's healthy, you're going to have Mitchell Robinson just sitting on that low block because no way in hell is he guarding either Evan Mobley or Jared Allen anywhere at all outside of the paint. Neither of them can shoot. Neither of them can really even shoot a mid-range. They won't shoot a mid-range. The Cavs are a poorly constructed basketball team, and it's literally all Evan Mobley's fault because he's not good enough. That's the truth of the matter, and because of that, I see the Cavs as a threat to the Knicks because I see basically every team in the Eastern Conference as a threat to the Knicks because of how injured we are.
Yeah.
If we get healthy, even with an injured Randall, I'm not that concerned about the Cavs. I've gone back and forth on this. But when I think about it, I just don't trust a team where you're starting 2 guys who are absolute bricks. That has never really worked in this era of basketball, and I don't expect it to start now.
What the Cleveland Cavaliers have going for them right now is it looks like things are falling into place that is like not even in their control. So look, like you just said and I said, the Knicks are riddled with injuries. The Philadelphia 76ers, Embiid, we still don't know if he's going to come back. And even if he comes back, he's not going to be his old self. The Milwaukee Bucks, I have no faith in the Milwaukee Bucks. I am out. I don't care about Giannis and Dame. Like Doc Rivers as a head coach, overrated. I'm out. I just don't see it. I don't see the championship type of basketball that they need to play in order to be a contender. I just don't see it. So I'm out of those 3. And the Miami Heat, they're up and down. You never know. They turn into Michael Myers when April 26th comes around. He just gets up from a stab wound or whatever, like whatever. But again, you always got to be a little weary of Miami, but you never know what team is going to show up in the playoffs. You got to wait until the playoffs. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, they've gotten lucky with their schedule, but you play the teams that are on your schedule, so you can't blame them. So I don't know, man. I'm with you. I'm going back and forth as far as like our potential, our ceiling for this season, and I'm not sure how it's going to turn out.
I think with that, we're looking at a situation where if the Knicks get healthy, they could still make the conference finals. But I think as a unit, all Knicks fans are losing faith because of this injury problem that we're having, and it absolutely sucks.
Yeah,
I think Mitch is going to come back, and he's not going to be in shape, and he's going to play 20 minutes a night to Hartenstein's 28, and that's fine. That's good enough. Hartenstein's great. Mitch is great. That works. I think we will see OG come back pretty soon. That's what all signs seem to point to. That'll be a huge boost for the Knicks.
Yes.
OG can, to a degree, create for himself, and it'll help the Knicks a ton, especially defensively. The Knicks will take leaps and bounds with OG back on defense. He is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate when he's healthy.
Right.
So I'm fine with that. Randall being hurt is really the bummer here. It was an unfortunate injury. But the Knicks can beat any team in the Eastern Conference. The Celtics are far from perfect, though the best team in the Eastern Conference and potentially the NBA in general. And when you look at teams like the Bucks, like the Cavs, like the Heat, they could all beat the Knicks, and the Knicks could beat all of them. I would rather not play the Bucks because, though I agree with you, I'm not exactly thrilled with them. Something that JJ Redick and Tommy Alter mentioned on the Old Man and the Three the other day is that no one wants to run in to Giannis and Dame in the spring.
Of course.
I know they have their problems. The Bucks just lost in the first round last year. But at the end of the day, Dame is still Dame. He's been great in the playoffs outside of that Pelicans series when he was on the Trailblazers. And Giannis is still a top 3 player in the NBA. You could argue he's the NBA's best player. I wouldn't say that. I'd say it's Jokic, but you could certainly argue that Giannis is the league's best player. You don't really want to run into teams that for sure have the best player on the court. The case is if the Knicks run in to the Milwaukee Bucks or the Boston Celtics, but mainly the Milwaukee Bucks, they don't have the best player on the court. They run into the Cavs or the Pacers or arguably the Heat. You could go either way with Butler and Brunson. I think 90% of people would say Jimmy Butler, and then Knicks fans would say Jalen Brunson. Call it bias, call it whatever. You never know with Butler because his wrist is all screwed up and needs cortisone shots during the playoffs. It's a tough situation. I will say this, though. Kevin Love doesn't do anything but make the finals when he makes the playoffs, so the Heat obviously just going to make the finals again.
There's 2 things that I always abide by. I never pick a Doc Rivers team to make it to the championship round.
Fair.
And I never choose the LA Clippers to get to the championship because they're just riddled with the Clipper curse.
They're just cursed. They're actually cursed.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Shout out my boy Steph if you're watching this. He's a Clipper fan, and they're playing amazing this season, but something's going to happen. Injuries or coaching or players just completely crumbling under the spotlight.
Or Paul George is going to happen in the playoffs.
James Harden. Something's going to happen. I can't put my finger on it, but something's going to happen that's it's not going to let them get to the championship. It's going to happen.
Look, I mean, Kawhi is one of the great playoff performers in NBA history, and then Paul George and James Harden and Russell Westbrook are, well, not.
That's it for today's video, guys. We want to say thank you for checking out today's video. Leave it in the comments and let us know what you guys think about the whole Donovan Mitchell being linked to the Knicks rumor. Also, what you guys think about this injury bug that the Knicks have with them right now. Is it going to plague the Knicks for the rest of the season, or are we going to come out of it?
Yeah. Let us know in the comments if the New York Knicks should, and this is according to RealGM.com, sign unrestricted NBA free agent Dariel Concha as another forward. If you guys didn't know, now you know. He's 6'7". He's got it.
Oh my God. I honestly did not see that coming at all. I was literally like, who are you about to say? Damn. Damn, those days are gone, bro. I wish I could do it, but those days are gone. But anyway, you guys know the drill. You guys know the vibes. Taj Gibson for president. Brunson for all the MVPs. And we out, baby. Peace.